Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, May 8th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking about the twos, all right? The good and the bad, so that people are aware and not get tricked into the bad. No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. Carl Jung. The mind is always busy. It's continuously analyzing, planning, yearning, hoping, and scheming for things to work out in its favor so that life can be better than what it currently is. There is nothing wrong with this at all. Yet it can create a feeling of stress, anxiety, and disturbance if we become attached to its perpetual pattern, as many do. The mind is always creating something. And 90% of the thoughts your mind is inventing today are the same types of thoughts and thinking it had yesterday. It is a very reliable machine, to say the least, that tends to formulate the same general stable version of reality it had yesterday. When the mind begins looking into your past and future, it's doing this to figure out how it can get what it wants. Perhaps it wants something like success, love, peace, freedom, abundance, or a feeling of belonging to something bigger than it. Whatever the mind wants, it cannot stop trying to fulfill that desire. It is perpetually, eternally interested in seeking how it can become satisfied with its desires. The pendulum of the mind oscillates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. Sense and nonsense. Young. The interesting thing about the mind is that it rarely realizes the most glorious gift of all is already available the moment it calls off its great search for more. The moment the mind stops seeking and can remain completely silent, relaxed, and open to this entire universe that is right here, right now, at the moment its list of desires is gone, and it feels totally at ease and liberated. Freedom isn't that easy. It is that easy. If you have ever tried to hold the mind so it remains only in the now, you'll notice that it somehow mysteriously pulls you away towards something else before you can catch it. The mind is very slippery, and it likes to remain this way so that it can run the show and keep its machine running smoothly. If you stop and listen to your mind, you will see. It likes to tell you what to do, where to go next, how to get there. It truly believes it's in charge of you. If and when you want to find peace with your mind, you'll need to master it. Mastery comes from finding a peacefulness within yourself that is deeper than the mind. The mind doesn't understand peace. It finds it is quite boring. If you remain in peace, silence, and stillness for too long, the mind will make a fuss. You'll notice the mind will start creating all sorts of disturbances to make you pay attention to it instead of the peacefulness inside. This is because there are still unresolved mental and emotional issues buried deep in the subconscious that are trying to be released and healed. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Young. I'd like to invite everyone right now to imagine what it would feel like to be the master of your mind. Just imagine, what would a typical normal day in the life of a would-be like when you are 100% free from the stress, chaos, and perpetual yearning habit of your mind? Take a few minutes. See if you can use your mind to imagine what it would be like to be free from it. If you really want to experience this absolute peace with your mind tonight, start with this one powerful mind-melting formula. Don't follow the mind. Simply watch it, observe it, and become so addicted to observing that you become an observaholic. Become so fascinated by being 100% aware of your thoughts that you are able to sit back and choose to be at peace with each thought that arises. Make the watcher in you the most important thing that you're going to be doing all day today. And I guarantee you, something very magical and transformable will happen. You will be able to observe any thought that arises inside your mind and not react to it. Imagine what that would be like if you had so much space inside you between every single one of your thoughts that you could sit back, relax, and feel like you had all the time in the world to explore each thought and respond to it in the way you truly wanted to. Look into your own heart. Who looks outside? Dreams. Who looks inside? Awakes. Look into your own heart. Who looks outside? Dreams. Who looks inside? Awakens. The ability to create spaciousness between your thoughts is what it takes to find total harmony and peace with the 60,000 plus thoughts that are flying through your brain each day. Excuse me. So start practicing now. Start with relaxing deeply into your body, watching where the mind is going right now, and notice what is its basic agenda. What do you think your mind wants to achieve by reading, listening, observing? What will it want once it discovers the secret to an eternal state of peace? The mind only knows wanting. It only knows wanting. And once you give up wanting, the mind is out of a job. It has nothing to do but live in peace. Very soon, you'll discover how to detach from the next series of thoughts coming your way, and learn how to observe that you are not the mind. This is very knowing. This very knowing is what will lead you into an outrageous state of freedom. Now, we talk about the mind as if it's a thing. Yet the big joke here is that we call the mind a thing, yet truly it's not a real thing at all. Just look inside and see. There is no mind. You have thoughts and something thinking the thoughts, something observing the thoughts. Yet where is the mind? When you look for the mind in this now moment, what do you find? You find nothing but awareness. This is the truth that destroys the mind habit, liberates you from it forever. If you could train, right, if we could train our awareness to remain only in the now, we'd live the rest of our lives feeling always safe, secure, and happy, yet in reality, if we try to train awareness, our willpower will have to constantly be in control to direct it. And we will feel like an elephant on a leash that has not been potty trained, and this will create all sorts of problems. The need to control anything in this life creates tension in the body, which soon will give rise to a feeling of hardness, rigidity, which leaves you feeling separate and disconnected. If you want to control this wild beast, there is only one thing you can do. Pay more attention to the awareness than to the thoughts moving through your mind. Pay more attention to the awareness than the thoughts moving through your mind. Bring awareness to the pure, scintillating consciousness that is radiating from your being. Do this for 15 minutes, and soon you'll see the relentless mind chatter will be calm and at peace. Only through relaxing into an unfocused space that is deepening in silence and stillness will your mind relax, find peace, and be of service to you and for you. Dive into this consciousness and the feeling of timelessness, deep peace, and a powerful silence will move into you automatically. There is nothing you need to do in this silence. The ego will bow down and become a disciple of you. The ego will listen to you and obey your every command. This is what it means to find true freedom and inner peace in this lifetime. You must choose to liberate the ego, which comes from this experience of mastering your mind. When the mind becomes your greatest devotee and is a true disciple of you, then you can experience the totally liberated divine spirit that you are and bask in the peaceful essence of your very being within every moment of this life. Man can learn nothing except by going from the known to the unknown, Claude Bernard. Mastering your mind is all about being curious about one thing, the infinite moment now. When you are fully here now, you are naturally aware when you're lost in thought or when you're opening up to an experience. This means you are capable of noticing when you're thinking that you're having an experience of life versus when you're actually immersed in this life and having an experience of you. Pay close attention here and really notice the difference. This simple, ancient, Jedi mind trick brings you one step closer to finding the source and consciousness, conscious essence of your being. This mind trick will let you drink from the erotic juice of the sparkling infinite soul who you truly are. You are here to know that who you are is beyond your mind, your thoughts, and your body. This consciousness is what absorbs the mind, releases it from its prison, so that you are free from it. Take this moment right now to choose to be aware of your awareness, which is aware of your thoughts, ideas, actions, and forms. Being aware of each thought the mind is having, life becomes profoundly deep, intensely powerful, and extremely meaningful. Only from this space of pure, untainted awareness, your total being becomes incredibly alive. In this space, you'll find a cosmic silence in which you'll discover true freedom. The mind cannot find it. Only the silencing of it allows for the discovery of it. Now, if you want to rid all chaos from your life, spend time in nature in silence for at least 48 minutes every day. Do this practice every single day for 21 days in a row. If you want to see the transformation occur, it is magical. You will see the ego fall away on its own accord. Bliss will come pouring into you all day long. In bliss, you will find an end to the endless mind chatter. You will live in the silence of the heart, feeling a great peaceful relationship with your mind and the sense of oneness with your breath. This connection between a quiet mind, an open heart, and rooted state of being flowing at one with your breath is the great sacred secret to being fully here now and discovering total freedom in this lifetime. You are here to find an experience of freedom that is more amazing than anything you've ever imagined before. The day will come when silence has been made your home, and the mind will begin to relax as freedom is found behind your every breath. Follow the breath and not the mind, and an overflowing abundance of peace, love, and prosperity consciousness will be revealed. Freedom is the ultimate state of being. It is our most natural state, and it is available now. There is no need to look anywhere in your life for it. Stop whatever you're doing for one day and look beneath your mind to the heart of your being. Get to know that every flowing current of peace, which is always free from fear, only if you try, only if you truly dive into your heart, will you find it. It has always been here. Always. This is the entrance to the divine being that you are. Open yourself up fully to it. And the most joyful, sweet, loving freedom will pour itself over everything that you do. The soul comes to the incarnation to learn something. You learn best to involve yourself in the game, loving, watching yourself with humor and love. Ram Dass. You try it. I don't know how many of you have tried the silence where you go to bed at night or you get up in the morning? And you just listen to your breath. Now, when your mind is like going, at the speed of light, every which way, and you're trying to figure out, a lot of people in this very moment are trying to figure out how to turn their mind off because they can't sleep. Because there's so many thoughts flowing through that it just overwhelms. And when you do, just listen to the breath. Listen to your breath. Focus on your breath. And that's not to say that the mind will come in and, have you off thinking something else. So it's like, there's a well, you jump in the water, the mind pulls you out. Turn around, jump back in the water, mind pulls you out. Water's nice and warm, soothing, relaxing. So you jump in the water, the mind pulls you out. You jump in the water, the mind pulls you out. You jump in the water, and the mind pulls you out. But you keep practicing. You just keep doing it. Listen to the breath. Focus on the breath. Because eventually, all of us will live exclusively in the now. We won't even venture into the future or the past. So we live in the now. See, now the mind will say, yeah, that's boring. God, how can you live in the now? There's nothing there. Boring. Blah. The whole purpose of focusing on the breath and living in the now is to begin to discover you're the master. You're the master of the mind and the ego, of your life, of everything. So you spend time mastering the mind. And you watch it. Quite interesting once you get the hang of it. And remember, you're just watching, you're not judging or complaining or anything like that. You're just watching. Watching how things unfold and how the mind does this and how the mind does that. And then, see, its sidekick, the ego, it wants everything now. Wants it now. Got to have it now. And it gets frustrating for us when it doesn't come. You ever been in that position? I'm sure you have. Where you look at it and you go, I want this now. I want this to happen, lickety-split. And see, that's when we grab on and white knuckle it. Not let go, because we're afraid we'll lose it if we let go. And actually the opposite happens. We let go of it, and it's always with us. But the reason we focus so much on it, because it's the gateway. It's the gateway to the God that we are in these bodies. There's no other way. It's the gateway to us gods in these bodies. See, when you live there now, it seems everything just kind of floats by. You are not motivated to really engage with any of the clouds that float by. Clouds are the thoughts. And you really aren't interested in any of those thoughts. See, then you progress and you start realizing none of them are mine. These are everybody else's thoughts, not mine. These are coming in. My thoughts go out. I send them out. But then you have what? You've got people that will go, well, they don't feel like they deserve to have a life of their dreams. They feel guilty. And so they back off. They suppress it or sabotage it so it never comes to be. And isn't it interesting? They sabotage it, but not consciously. And then they're upset because it didn't come. So on one hand, sad because it didn't come. But they subconsciously or unconsciously destroy the opportunity of it coming in on what you desire, what you want. And there is nothing that stops any of us from manifesting anything that we care to have in this life, to enjoy, to experience, except ourselves. We head it off at the paths. We cut off its oxygen and its water supply. So on one hand, we're desiring, and on the other hand, we're eliminating. It's contradictory, isn't it? But it's the ego mind. This is the play that it has on us. We worry, we're concerned on everything. We focus on this, we focus on that. What if this happened? What if that happened? What if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? And so we get into this unnatural state, which feels natural to us. This unnatural state of always wanting. You ever find yourself, you're always wanting? It doesn't have to be a physical thing. It could be any form. But you ever notice you're always wanting? You're always wanting something. And then at the same time, you're negating it because you don't feel you deserve it. It's really, you got to laugh at it because it's so ridiculous. And then on top of it, we get upset because we didn't get it, because then we sabotage it, but we didn't know we sabotaged it, so we didn't get it, and so then we're frustrated and disappointed. And people will say, well, how do you get out of that trap, that mind trap, where you are watching the mind, you're an observer, and you aren't in the mind. You're watching it, which means you can direct it, focus on something to manifest. But you see, you're mastering the mind to do that. It's not doing it, okay, on its own, which is usually the case with about all of us. How many times have you come across, whether with yourself or others in this life, where they appear to have everything they have everything they could possibly imagine, and then some, but they don't seem to be bright, happy, shiny about it. You ever come across that? They're not happy with it. because they're bored. What do we spend most of our time doing? We spend most of our time wanting, worrying, fearing, stressing. That's where we spend most of our time. And we're so acclimated to it, it's second nature. It's absolute second nature. Now, for instance, right? Let's say you're going to go to a dinner party, right? And you have this passing thought that comes over you. And you say to yourself, I'm just going to wear something I really want to wear and not care about what anybody else thinks about what I'm wearing. Right? And then so you start going about getting the outfit together. And then you start feeling fearful. Maybe I shouldn't wear this. Maybe I should just dress down. They'll probably say this and do this or say that and do that, right? And see, now, when you can do that, not as a joke, right? But you just want to. And you want to just dress to the hilt. And you go to this dinner party. And everybody's just looking at you. And you didn't do it for attention, okay? You did it because it was something that you wanted to enjoy with yourself. And so it's people looking at you. And then, somebody might say, are you a singer? You an entertainer? And you say, no. Well, wow, you're really dressed like an entertainer, like you're going to go on the stage. And then you respond by saying, but I'm already on the stage just like you are. Well, how do you figure? The stage that we're all on is life. But when you can do that, right, that means you're not worried about what they think, what they feel, what their perspective is. You're enjoying yourself. And then you'll be free. When you can do that, when you can be in that motion, that feeling all the time, then you're free as a bird and beyond. You just don't worry about those things. You're here to enjoy the body and enjoy your life. And learn. As we create things, teach ourselves and learn, we bring certain things in, right? Because remember, the universe is you and you are the universe. We're all part of each other. So you end up enjoying your life because you're free of the mind. You might have run across some people that are kind of there with that, where things just don't bother them. Like everybody else is all bothered and everything. Then there's someone that's just kind of easy peasy breezing along. Rather than us focusing on, which we do a lot, rather than us focusing on the mind and ego, we're focused on the now and the breath. And we don't get sucked into that trap, which is low frequency, which causes us to do things, say things, respond to things. And it is, what's interesting is that Why is it that so many of us are fearful of speaking to strangers, to a crowd, to an audience? Just stand up and just start speaking. What is that about? It's been going on for a long time with our civilization. What is that about? Well, it's because many of us don't know who and what we are. We don't. And what do? Well, a lot of people on this planet believe that God is somewhere up there, right? And statements made to people, if you don't accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you will burn in hellfire damnation for an eternity. What a thing to say. But that's because folks were trained. They've been trained since children to believe in that externalism, that there's a separate place from you that's called heaven. But interesting enough, the truth is, you're the heaven. The God within that body is the heaven. It isn't a place that we go after we leave the body. It's depicted that way. So most of us fall for the trap every single time. But you have everything that you'll ever need as the God that you are for this endless journey. That's what's so interesting and ironic. We seek everything outside of ourselves, and we really never find anything. Right? Then we're afraid to seek anything within ourselves. But what does that? The mind. The mind does it. See, it doesn't want you to find out about it so that you end up mastering it. And it does things for you rather than you doing things for it. So see, you use the mind, eventually you use the mind to focus and manifest things. And, we're not lost. It's like people that go to where? Where do they go? The cemeteries, right? And they talk to the grave. But there's nothing there. There's nothing there. The God that was in that body is gone. It is an empty vessel that is basically decomposing. There's no life in it. Now, if you really want to communicate with the God that was in that body, then talk to yourself. Communicate through the God that you are. And it's easy to do. It's not. You just carry on a conversation. And believe it or not, since we are all one, the gods that we are, you can feel them across the great expanse. You can feel them. You're connected. We're all connected to each other. But the trick that is constantly being played on us, we believe that we're separate. We believe we're separate. This is why it's so difficult to unify the civilization of planet Earth, to come into unity across the board. Because the majority of the people are fearful. But have you ever been, okay, by yourself, right, so to speak? Have you ever protested anything, or you're just by yourself and you have opinions and so on and so forth? You don't feel really empowered, right? There's a lot of people like that. You ever see people that protest? It's a big group, usually. But when you're with others, you feel what? Empowered. You feel more secure. You feel more protected. Right? So why wouldn't we drop all of the facades, all the masks, forgive ourselves for whatever it is we're carrying, and merge so that we all know that we're one. And we acknowledge it. And all the while for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, we have been trained to believe that we are all separate, powerless, weak, not progressive, non-accomplishing. And we feel guilty about it, and it's nothing. I've had people tell me that they don't deserve to be happy. Blows me away. Why don't you deserve to be? Why do you feel you don't deserve to be happy? Well, I haven't done too great in this life, and done some things I'm not proud of, and there's a lot more people more deserving they think that they are, which isn't true. Self-esteem, right? Where you feel good with yourself. You're good, see? You've got things on the up and up with yourself. You're forgiving and surrendering, and you're slowly but surely coming in to staying in the now and understanding that you're the God, not the body, and communing with the God that you are. But there's the majority, really, truly, are kind of like wandering generalities. Wandering generalities just means that you go through the steps. You go through the paces. Okay? You don't notice a lot. You notice some things if it's called to your attention. The reason is because you're just looking forward all the time. You're looking forward, 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 and you're moving, shuffling. And you got to get somewhere, but you don't know where. All this boils down to is for us to deeply and intimately love ourselves. Deeply and intimately love ourselves, the God that we are in the body. We love the body, carries us around. We love ourselves, we love each other. And I just believe that for somewhere along the line, the civilization became introverted. And isn't it funny because we're social beings, but so many of us are introverted, which means we don't care to interact much. We kind of, you know, shuffle along, and you know, we have friends and whatever, but we don't care to really get out and enjoy life. We just kind of fumble along, but it's safe, safe. It's kind of like inferiority complex. You feel inferior with everything, and that's just because of what? It's because you were created by other people's thoughts, and then you get to recognize that and say, I don't care to acknowledge these thoughts anymore. I'm not participating in it. I'll generate my own thoughts from this day forward. I'll focus on that. I'll focus on mastering the mind. And eventually the mind, it kind of it just sits in the background. Whenever you call upon it, it's there. You're not thinking a lot. When you think, but you do imagine. You use the mind, you imagine. This is called using the mind, and not the mind using you. And the happiness, and the joy, and the bliss, and the peace, and the contentment, all rolled up inside you. Always been there. Aren't going anywhere. But boy, when you dip into that, there's nothing that you would rather do than that. And that's why we catch ourselves. See, you start to catch yourself when you say you don't want something. You go, wait, oh, no, I don't care to have that. I don't care to engage with that. Right? Or I don't really care for that. And it goes right, it vanishes. But a lot of us grab everything. We're engaged with it all the time. Everything. And we get caught up in judging ourselves, judging others, judging everything. And everything starts, you focus on it now, but you also, if you don't, which a lot of people don't, you focus on loving you deeply and eternally, in deep gratitude, in gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness. I'll join you in meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Uncontrollable mental chatter is the cause of all suffering in our lives. The moment we stop the mind for even a few minutes, a powerful peace-filled energy arises inside you. Try it and see. To become the divine observer of your mind and step back from the 60,000 thoughts that run through your head each day. Simply choose to become the ever-present, witnessing observer of each experience, choosing to be vigilantly aware of this ever-present observer of your mind and make the typical tragic, dramatic day transform into a harmonic symphony of joy and love. For today, devote all your energy to watching the incessant chatter happening inside your mind without buying into its drama. It doesn't matter what the mind does today. Just be a super observer. Watch with amazement. If you get tangled up in some important thoughts, don't try to stop them, change them, or participate in them. Simply sit back, even deeper behind your mind. Relax your body. You can find it extremely entertaining to simply watch, listen, and have a good laugh all day long. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night the following morning. We will return here Tuesday, May 9th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the deepest of eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening outside of you.